Barend, welcome back. Today we're breaking down, I think, one of the most discussed topics when we spoke to companies in the past 10 years, talent pooling. And I think we both agree that AI is bringing complete new possibilities and maybe even the final opportunity to really do it well. And today I want to discuss with you what perspectives we have on that topic. So how do you believe AI can bring a renewed strategy to talent pooling?
Yes, talent pooling. The one topic you always talk about, but rarely is executed well.
Exactly.
And because the potential is so huge of an active talent pool that it's always a discussion. And I think right now we have the opportunity to actually do the things we've been talking about for a decade and a half now.
Yeah,
And you want to know how, right?
for sure.
Yes. I think it's always nice to start by, why do we want a talent pool and why is it almost never working? So recruitment is always very transactional. You are looking for a candidate right now because you have an open vacancy that needs to be filled. So I'm talking to candidates and I decide to move forward or not based on the requirements of that specific vacancy. And the concept of a talent pool, it's always the same, like, we're an agency, I have 20 recruiters, we talk to thousands of applicants, we put them in the ATS, there should be so much value there, but we can't utilize it. And I think there are three main reasons why it is so hard to utilize a talent pool. Because we recruit in such a transactional manner, we don't store all the information we have about applicants in our talent pool. So that's problem number one. We have a list of...
Quick question. You think we don't store it, but if, devil's advocate, we do store it because we have an ATS or an CRM, so we do store?
Yeah, I think we store it. But the question is, what do we store, right?
Yeah.
What we store is a list of phone numbers, email addresses, and the opinion of a recruiter based on that specific vacancy he was working on. So that is what we store. And that's also, if you want to reuse that candidate a year later, the only information you have available. So I think that's one problem, that we don't have enough information about all these people we talk with to build sustainable relationships with them. I think a second problem is then, if you don't have the information, how can you search, right? If you look at the process of an average agency, they always say, if we get a new vacancy we have to fill, we first look into the talent pool, and if there's nobody there, then we move to LinkedIn. In reality, what we see, people immediately jump to LinkedIn because it's so hard to qualify someone in the talent pool if there's no up-to-date information available.
Yeah, exactly. So companies say, hey, basically a talent pool is the applicants I spoke to in the last 2 weeks.
The things that are in your memory.
Exactly.
If it's still in your memory, it's in your talent pool. If you don't remember the people anymore, then it's just a fridge with dead meat or something. I don't even know, how to describe it. In Europe, we say it's a GDPR liability, right? That's the only thing in talent pool is today.
Yeah.
Because we don't have enough information and we don't have the capability to look into that information, to really search in the information that's relevant for the vacancy at hand.
Yep.
And that leads to a third problem. Because if you look into a talent pool in an ATS today, there are always two options. Either you find no one because your search criteria are too strict. I'm looking, with a person that hits all the things I'm looking for, and nobody's completely qualified. That's option one. Option two is I find too many people because I widen my search. I think, okay, well, the golden bullet is not in this talent pool. Let's widen the search. But then I found 100 people that potentially could be qualified, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the third problem, because recruiters don't have the capability to reach out to all those people to re-qualify. Are you still open to work? Do you have this skill that we didn't discuss in our last interview, or I didn't remember if we discussed it? Do you have the specific skill needed for this new vacancy?
Yeah, so, I think we do it. I think that we do it, but we do it with sending out an email with a vacancy to an ATS list of email addresses.
Yeah, but that's, of course. Yeah, if that's your talent pool, if sending an email...
That's how it works today.
That's what we do. That's not how it works.
Exactly.
That's what we do, right? Yeah.
That's what we do. Yeah. That's better, yeah. But it doesn't work.
No, I think the official term for it is spam, right? We have 20,000
Spray
people,
and pray.
100,000 people, and we just spray emails until they hit the unsubscribe button. And that solves your GDPR. So yes, we do it, but it doesn't work. So if you drill down in the problems, and it's one, we don't store enough information. Two, I can't look through the information. And three, I don't have the capabilities to follow up with all the people that are in the talent pool. Yeah, then the question is, can AI solve it, right? Can AI solve those issues? And we believe there is a big opportunity there.
Yeah. I think
At
the
least I
memory
believe
thing
this.
that you mentioned is the big thing. Huh? If you zoom out, we are not capable to we're not capable to really connect or reach out to candidates we've spoken to in the past. If it's not in an ATS system where we have a few fields with names, this is the name of the dog, and this is the where they live, and probably something. Hey, these are the skills. They have this education, but we always need to do that with query search in an ATS. But now, I think, can you describe what happens if we have specific AI tools helping you as a recruiter to execute the talent pooling process well?
Yeah, I think AI helps on two levels. One is AI, if implemented in the right way, never forgets. So all the little nitty-gritty details that the applicants discussed in meetings, in phone screenings, in resumes, in email communication, all the information you have about the applicant is stored in a way that you can search through it in the future. So if an applicant was not a good fit for a job because the applicant shared that he wanted to move from LA to New York next year, all those little details are memorized by AI. So next year, if you're looking for someone for a specific role in New York, in your ATS, it still says, hey, this person lives in LA, but actually AI knows, but wait a minute, this person had a plan to move to New York. So potentially it could be a fit.
Yeah.
So memorizing everything and being able to search in an unstructured way through the full history of every applicant.
Yeah.
That's one side of the spectrum, problem solved. Second part is,
I think, Baron, to quickly hone in on that, is what makes it so cool is I think that you can do this as a person, like with a group of a maximum of like, say, 20 to 30 people, maybe 40, because basically it's there's the bandwidth you have with your own brain. But if you're talking about thousands of candidates, if you're a recruiter or an agency and you talk to thousands of candidates per year, that's when it becomes really interesting, huh? Because you can never memorize everything for such a high volume of applicants or candidates.
of course, and you can only memorize the applicants you talk to yourself, right? You can't
Exactly.
memorize
Yeah.
the discussions that you
Imagine someone's leaving and there are just names and numbers in your ATS and you don't have any relationship with them.
Exactly. And then, if you reach out to those applicants, maybe you ask the questions that were asked before, and that's also not really a good experience.
Yeah.
So that's I think one side of the story. Memorize everything so you can actually look for applicants that you've spoken to in the last years. Number two is the problem of reaching out. So I ask AI, do I have qualified people? And AI says, this person could be qualified. Remember, he was supposed to move to New York, so potentially fit. The question is, how do you confirm the assumptions that are made then? You can imagine there are 200 people that are a potential fit. Yeah, jumping on a phone or sending an email to all these persons saying, hey, we talked 2 years ago. You said you would move to New York. Did it actually happen? How are you doing? It's just too laborious for humans. So that's another reason today it doesn't work. Well, here comes AI into the equation again. It's absolutely not an issue for AI to send this person an email or message saying, hey, we discussed a year ago about this role. You shared your plans to move to New York. Hope you live in the Big Apple now. We have this opportunity. Interested to talk? And if the person's interested, the AI will schedule a meeting with the recruiter so the recruiter can leverage that candidate.
I think what I always love is the use case of the difference between acting on structured data and acting on unstructured data, and what the impact is of collecting unstructured data, for example, like interviews or conversations that you have with an applicant, and how that is actually changing the way you search. And maybe you can explain that quickly, the difference between that query search in your ATS and AI-driven search over that unstructured information.
Yeah. I think you just explained that you can memorize, let's say, the last 20 applicants, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you're a recruiter right now and think about the persons you talk to, the last 20 persons you talk to, what do you remember? The hard fact in the resume, or do you remember the little things they shared in the conversation? Well, it's completely human to remember the things where you talked about, because those were the interesting parts, right? You don't talk about the things that were not interested. So these are the things that you remember.
Yeah.
So actually, the value is in the conversations. The value in recruitment is in human interactions, not in factual data,
Yep.
at least not alone in factual data.
Yeah.
So coming back to your question, what does AI do? If you store unstructured data, because like meetings, we call this unstructured information because it's not literally asking questions. It's like having a human conversation. Because AI can search through that unstructured data, you can look for things that were impossible to search on 2 years ago. And that makes the whole difference, because that means that your technology starts to use as a brain instead of a shopping list. And that's what you
Exactly.
need in recruitment.
Exactly. Okay, Barend, thanks so much for breaking down this talent pooling topic. This was just our first episode on the talent pool, and I'm sure we will do many more because this topic is just too complicated and complex to cover in 10 minutes. So this was just one, and we will. Everybody should stay tuned on the next one.
It's going to be one of the game changers in recruitment for the coming years, for
Yes,
multiple
agree.
reasons.
Cool.